Hello again, and welcome to Liminal Writing, where Lee and I write together for a 10-minute time free flow writing. We agree on a
Become
trigger phrase to write
yeah.
on. And so we're reading this piece that we wrote in 2021 using the same method of liminal writing.
And the trigger phrase we landed on for this is brutal honesty.
Okay.
Why don't I go first?
Yes, please
Yeah, I'll go first.
dive in.
Brutal honesty. Bear the bones of truth. Oh, wow. For someone who always looks to the truth, brutal honesty is hard for me to participate in, even listen to. I associate it with discord, jagged edges, dark echoes, and shallow breaths. I think I know myself quite well, and honesty sometimes robs me of that perception I have of myself and the other person. Can one allow the bruteness of their truth slice open the seams of my being? If done in the spirit of honesty, will the acid bear the bones of truth? Is it my truth or the other person's truth? That's it.
Okay, my turn.
Yes, please.
Brutal honesty is painful. Slices through skin, breaking the epidermis, clean slit, and no blood gushes out as it shocks the cells, a quiet prelude. It slices through air, cutting off breath, leaving you gasping, teaching you that hunger also exists in your lungs in a suspended heartbeat. But like rain, it quenches and cleanses and floods out the mud that envelopes your fearful soul. That's what came out. Right. So
We have parallel
brutal
image,
honesty.
right?
It's funny
About
because I was just telling you last week how I this image of slicing through skin, I accidentally stabbed my finger
yeah,
while trying to remove an
to
avocado seed.
seed,
So the image right now, slicing through skin, is quite fresh in my memory.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, brutal honesty. I think do we share that? I mean, there is a discomfort in it, isn't it? It invites discomfort when we
Very much so.
thought of it, that
Very much so.
phrase. And
I think for myself, if I'm just doing my solo thinking and reflecting, I think I can do that with myself. Or
yes,
maybe that's a part
with
of
the
like
self,
in
no? Yes,
psychology, of
that's
like, oh yeah,
right.
you can do it. But if there's another person involved, even
Yeah,
if I think you know the other person quite well, because we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with the other person, whatever comes from them,
you feel too.
the effect is, I think, very much deeply
Yeah.
felt, right? Hence the image of what we have when we use the words like slice, we use the word skin, right? Because it's very visceral. It's
Yes,
primal to us.
that's right.
It's talking about like how
To me, it's like
acid
that.
it
Mm.
can be, right? Depending on, and I think both our works here are talking about the kind of like the difficult, challenging, maybe sometimes negative energies that could be when you have brutal honesty. I acknowledge that when there's also brutal honesty, it could be the moments of like brightness and humor and laughter. But it's also our emotional connotation of the word brutal
Yeah, because
that it goes
the
into
phrase
the,
says brutal honesty, so
yeah.
no, not sure because you can be kind, I guess. Is it? Sometimes the kindest thing to do is to be brutally honest. Is that possible?
Uh,
Yeah, I think it is.
for some, but I've
Sometimes.
never gone into that. Yeah,
Sure,
I
that
acknowledge
makes
like
sense.
my normal makeup is always trying to find that balance of
Me too.
harmony and trying to
Me
peace rather than
kindness. Yeah.
mm,
I
to
was
get in.
raised like that. I mean, raised in terms of my dad. My papa was like that. He was kind. He was a kind man. I mean, to a fault because he was quiet.
Yeah,
And I didn't then learn that language for like a brutal,
yeah,
honest kind of mode. But the kindness was the one that was more overwhelming. So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not even sure if I have the language for a lot of things that, especially when it's about something that can cause pain or
Mm,
or something that comes from an angry place in me.
mm,
I don't think I have a wide vocabulary to kind of express it.
yeah,
So,
I hear
so
that.
what comes out here in terms of imagery is all really painful. It even talks of breath, like cutting off breath and then gasping, because to me it's such a difficult,
Mm,
uh, difficult experience and concept or moment or
yeah,
act, the act of brutal honesty.
very
Do you
much.
think sometimes we need that? Or
I
it doesn't
think
have to be brutal? Can it just not be brutal?
you know what? In this moment, I'm just thinking in spaces like in business, you will need to be or you have to
That's
be
true.
able to stand brutal honesty
That's true, no.
because of what? Stakeholders are relying on you to
Yeah.
deliver brutal
I
honesty in
think
terms
I
of
can do that.
looking at your budgets, your P&Ls, and just
Oh, that's
understand that
interesting.
diba, you can't fudge about when you see it redlining, then you can't say, oh, we're doing very well. No, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
So now I can make a distinction. I
Hmm.
think I struggle with that on a personal level, but I think in terms of work,
Yeah.
I do that because I
Hmm.
do a lot of work in governance and standard setting and all that
Ah, yeah.
situation. Yeah, that one is different. I can compartmentalize like that. But
Hmm.
when it's about work and numbers and data,
Yes.
but when
Yeah.
it's about people and feelings,
Oh, yeah.
and especially if it's from a personal space where
Yes.
there's a lot of emotional investment, then it becomes a bit yeah. Now that's an interesting point. Thank
So
you for pointing that
it
out.
it,
Yeah.
it has its place in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
ay, ay, ay. I think it's a good point of reflection. You and I agree that we'd rather be in a place wherein it's harmonious, it is easy, things are
Yeah.
flowing well. We do understand that life is not wholly about that.
Yeah. And
So,
and conflict avoidance in its totality, in its extreme can
not also a good thing.
yeah, is not also healthy, right? So
Yeah,
it's
we can't
find
be ostriches.
so and
There's so,
truth sometimes can be quite painful, but it's not to hurt. It's the
mm,
intent of the act of being honest is not the main intent is not to hurt, but it's for growth, right? It's for mutual growth.
and I think yes, there's a way to be brutally honest. Uh, but in the choice of your words and tone can make a difference
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
interaction and the outcome
yeah,
of whatever that conversation is, right? It's not like we would like to hide
yeah,
things. We can talk about it, our feelings at an event,
yeah,
but it always, I think, comes down to how you come across.
yeah.
So it's a tone, the choice of words, I think, are very important.
And again, we go back to the workspace and we do that. We practice this whole spirit of constructive criticizing in a constructive manner, right?
Mm, mm,
Because the
yeah,
intent is towards growth efficiency,
Yeah.
making things work, and achieving goals. And it applies the same way, right? It's about mutual growth and peaceful coexistence, meaningful
Yeah.
interactions.
Yes.
So with that,
Woo.
ooh,
My goodness.
I can remove the image of slicing through skin in my brain, but yeah, brutal honesty.
So thank you for that for today. Something to ruminate
Ponder,
on.
let's ruminate
Yeah.
and ponder. All right.
Yeah.
Till the
Right.
next liminal writing session,
Yes, folks.
sharing our truths. Thank
Thank you for listening, and
you.
we'll see you next time.